If you're moving to Murfreesboro with kids, there's one mistake we see families make over and over again. They start by looking at houses. But after helping so many families relocate to Middle Tennessee, we've learned that the house itself usually isn't what determines how happy a family is after they move. It's the community, it's the school, it's the friends your kids make, it's the activities that you're involved in, and it's whether your family's lifestyle actually matches that area that you chose.
So if you're thinking about moving to Murfreesboro, this video is designed to help you make a more informed decision. We're going to walk you through the public schools, the private schools, charter schools, homeschools, and even some alternative options for education throughout Murfreesboro. We'll also talk about neighborhoods surrounding many of these schools, what types of family each option tends to fit best, and the questions we encourage every relocation family to ask before deciding where to live. And be sure to stay until the end because we'll cover several educational opportunities that many families don't even know exist here.
Every week, we help families relocate to Murfreesboro and Middle Tennessee by creating videos just like this that answer the questions that we hear every day from people who are planning their move.
So if that's you, consider subscribing because every week we're helping people discover what it's really like to live here. Now, let's take a deep dive into the schools.
Depending on your stage of life, one might feel more like home than the other. So you're thinking about moving to Middle Tennessee in 2026? Before you pack your bags, let's talk honestly about the pros and cons so you can likely find a spot that suits your lifestyle.
Okay, so we are going to cover many of the schools here in the area, but there's no way we can make a video that goes over everything. So if you're looking for more in-depth understanding of the school system and what it has to offer and all the different kinds of schools that we have here in Middle Tennessee, please don't hesitate to give us a call. We'd love to connect with you over the phone.
If we were moving to a place that we were unfamiliar with, or even across town, I would want to know more about the school itself and the neighborhoods surrounding the schools. And that's really the heart behind this video today, is to help you be able to pick your new home, your new lifestyle as you're making this big move with a little more information. You know, you can't make a good decision without good information, right? And we want to make sure that we're helping you have some good information about these schools. So if you've watched any of our other videos, we mention schools a lot in a lot of our videos, but you'll know that in Murfreesboro and the surrounding area, we have a lot of cluster schools that feed into from the elementary school to the middle to the high school. But we also have schools that are not in that cluster. So example, there's Blackman Elementary, Blackman Middle, and Blackman High School. There's John Pittard Elementary, Oakland Middle, and Oakland High School. They all are right together. Siegel Elementary, Siegel Middle, Siegel High School, right? But then there are other schools that do feed into some of these good middle and high schools, and they're more closer to the city, or they may be a little bit newer, and they may not necessarily be a part of that cluster, but those kids are still going to travel to middle and high school together, which is neat. The first one that comes to mind that I want to jump in and talk about today is Salem Elementary. And I think it's the first one that popped into my head because it's a newer school. It was built in 2019. It's a big, beautiful campus. And they built it in a newer part of town that is being newly developed. So there's a lot more restaurants and hospitals, doctor's offices, all of that popping up right around this school, which also means there's a lot more neighborhoods popping up. So with this Salem Elementary, you can oftentimes get a newer home in a lot of different price points and be very close to that school within 5 minutes driving. But they also put this school where some existing neighborhoods already are. And there's even a walking trail there's a neighborhood called Southern Meadows. It's an existing neighborhood with older homes, price point somewhere between $400,000 and $700,000 usually. And that's a neat neighborhood too because it has a communal green space, like a communal soccer field and community pool. And then it's got the walking trail to this school. And I know our friends who live in that neighborhood and who've sent their kids to that school have been really pleased with the camaraderie, the community, the support system that the neighborhood and the school kind of have together. In 2026, you would then go to Rockvale Middle and Rockvale High School. And those are both known for they're also newer buildings. Rockvale has a nice turf football field, a newer stadium. They also play soccer, lacrosse, things like that there. And it's a little bit on the outskirts of town. So that may deter some people, but if you enjoy the beautiful drive in this lovely state, you would love that area of Rockvale, because as you're driving to that school and you're kind of leaving Murfreesboro, it's got the beautiful rolling hills of Tennessee. And to get from the neighborhoods that are right by Salem Elementary, that commute time to the middle and high school is really only like 8 to 10 minutes for the most part. So it's also like you get that rural experience without having to be a half hour away. So let's talk more about the Rockvale school systems. So if you didn't want to go to Salem Elementary, but you really wanted to be in the Rockvale Middle and High, you could also be a part of the Rockvale Elementary School, which does feed into the middle and high school in the Rockvale community. Again, that whole area is rapidly growing in Middle Tennessee. It's absolutely beautiful. It's on the side of Murfreesboro that is closer to Franklin, Tennessee. Some people like it for its proximity to all the shopping and cute, fun stuff that Franklin has to offer as well. So those Rockvale schools are known for being newer buildings, rapidly growing athletics. And because of those newer buildings, they also have good STEM programs and career paths, because when they built the buildings, they kind of built it more for those STEM-based programs. So if that is what you're into, Rockvale is a good option for that. But Rockvale has not gotten left behind in the sports. I said rapidly growing, but they are hot competitors in football, soccer, archery, swimming, wrestling, dance, cheer, yeah, and more. If you decide that you want to be a part of those Rockvale schools, what kind of housing would you find there in Rockvale? Well, like I mentioned, Rockvale is going to be more of that rural community. So you might be more likely to find that house with a little bit of land. There's even a neighborhood just right across the street from the middle and high school called Rockvale Meadows. And in that neighborhood, there's older homes, but they have huge lots. I mean, some of them are 2 acres. So if you're looking for a neighborhood but still having a little bit of land, that would be a good option for you. And there's a lot of new construction neighborhoods, again, with the much smaller yards, but you're going to find that beautiful open concept floor plan. And the price points in Rockvale right now really vary greatly. I mean, you could get some of those new construction homes in that $400,000 to $600,000 range, but you can also get some of the higher end $1 million to $1.5 million homes in both in neighborhoods or with a little bit of land and have more of that farming lifestyle. So it's got a lot of variety there. All right, so now let's come back in a little closer into the Murfreesboro area and talk about those Blackman Schools. My guess is you have already heard about the Blackman Schools if you have done any research on Murfreesboro schools. They are some of the fastest growing area of Murfreesboro and schools, and for good reason. Blackman has a great academic program, really great athletic programs, and it's got a longer history of school pride, and it's been around for going on 20 years now. So what kind of housing and amenities would you find if you're looking in that Blackman area? Here's an interesting fact. If you're Googling it, you're gonna see that the Blackman Schools are technically in Rutherford County and not in the city limits of Murfreesboro. But when you get here, what you will quickly realize is those Blackman Schools are in the middle of everything. I mean, the shopping in Murfreesboro is mostly on Medical Center Parkway. It's where a lot of new restaurants, a lot of new homes, townhomes are being built. Our outdoor mall is there, movie theaters. I mean, a lot of stuff. The hospital is on Medical Center Parkway, and that road actually crosses over the interstate and turns into the road that those schools are on. So just within 3 to 4 minutes, you are in the middle of everything that Murfreesboro has to offer. There's lots of neighborhoods around the elementary school and the middle and high school. The elementary school is on one side of the busy road, the middle and high school are on the other side. Both of them, if you look on a map, you'll see neighborhoods surrounding them. Right behind the high school, there are some older established neighborhoods in the about $600,000 to $800,000 range of price point for a home there. They're usually all brick homes with a medium-sized yard, not an acre, but maybe a little less than a half an acre, where you could still have gardens. A lot of them back up to tree lines, and they feel established. And those you can walk to the high school. There are also some new construction homes. In fact, at Blackman High School, there is a neighborhood that also backs up to a creek called Stover's Glen. So if you look up on the map, Stover's Glen, they've got newer homes. They've just been built in the last 4 and 5 years. So new construction homes back up to tree lines, open space, and some of those lots even back up to a creek. And they also, right in front of the house is the middle and high school, so you can walk to all of those. So really neat that our city offers this, both the city and kind of that outdoor feel all in one there. Also in the Blackman area, you'll find the townhomes, the alley entry homes where if you don't want any yard at all, we have some of that. So it's got a lot of variety of price points, like I said, and types of homes, all in the city of Murfreesboro, just right there on the edge of it. And it's also going to be your quickest access to I-24. And if you're going to be commuting to Nashville or Franklin or Lebanon or somewhere like that for work, that's going to be a neighborhood that keeps you and your family in Murfreesboro, but also you are just a rock's throw from jumping on the interstate and getting where you need to get.
So one of the most popular neighborhoods in the Blackman area right now is Shelton Square. Now the caveat here is they are building new elementary and middle and high schools that most likely Shelton Square will get rezoned for, but currently they're still in the Blackman area. People love Shelton Square because it has something for everybody there. They have some smaller homes that have smaller yards and less upkeep, all the way up to multi-million-dollar mansions. It's known for having great amenities. There's walking trails, there's playgrounds, pickleball courts. There's a great pool they have there. So if Blackman seems to be the place that you're wanting to be, definitely check out Shelton Square.
Something that sets Shelton Square apart from a lot of other neighborhoods in town, that's why I think people come back to it a lot, is it was really well designed that when you pull in the front entrance, it's got these nice big white brick, pillars at the entrance of the neighborhood. And then when you drive through, there's a nice green median that's beautifully landscaped. There's homes that face the road, but they have alley access on the backside. So when you pull into this neighborhood, it's not just pulling into most neighborhoods in Middle Tennessee, it's really pulling into a planned development. And the aesthetic there is really pleasing to a lot of people. So it's a neighborhood that will get a lot of attention, has and will continue to in the years to come. And like Clark's saying, the new schools that they're building there in the Blackman area, they're the Poplar Hill Schools, if you want to look them up, but Poplar Hill Elementary, Poplar Hill Middle, and Poplar Hill High is going to start being built in the next year or so. We mentioned earlier, as I'm saying, these Poplar Hill schools, the elementary school and middle school are just 2 years old at this point in time, and the high school's not built yet. Those are just maybe 2 to 3 miles away from the Blackman schools, so still in that Blackman community very much. But the funny thing is they're also just 2 to 3 miles away from the Stewart Creek cluster schools in Smyrna. So when we say that this area of town is rapidly growing, I mean it is rapidly growing. But I'm really proud that our city is trying to keep up and get the right schools in place with these cluster schools that meet the needs of the community as the growth continues. Okay, if you get locked in on a school for whatever reason, maybe your child's really into archery and they have the best archery program, whatever it is that draws you in, do call us before you start your search in that area. Because like I just mentioned, there's so much growth here in Middle Tennessee that they are going to continue to build schools to accommodate the growth. And even if it looks like that school and that neighborhood are very close together, it could easily get rezoned to a different school. And we would just want to make sure you know what's on the horizon locally before you actually bought the home in hopes of being at that specific school, if that makes sense. Let's keep traveling through town. So we started out in the Rockvale and Salem side of town, went to Blackman, which is really like almost in the middle of Murfreesboro. Let's go to the north side of Murfreesboro, to the Siegel School Zones. So the Siegel School Zones are, did you just give a thumbs up?
Going up north.
Oh, yes. I thought he really was passionate about the Siegel schools. All right, both are good. Okay. A long time ago, Murfreesboro had 2 high schools, Oakland and Riverdale. And half the town went to Oakland, the other half the town went to Riverdale. And as the growth came, we built schools like Siegel, which is in the Oakland north side of town area. But that side of town has a lot of neighborhoods that are old ranch homes, half-acre lots, acre lots that have walking trails on the river. The 90s brick home that's ready for a remodel, or the 90s brick home that just got a remodel. So you're gonna have the large established trees, the walking trails by the river. It's there is a strip, there is a road that has the grocery stores, the restaurants, the laundromats, and all that kind of stuff. But really, to get to the super Targets and the Lowe's and stuff, you go to the other side of town. This is definitely the more residential, established side of town. Would you agree?
I would agree.
Okay. There are new construction neighborhoods, but as we're talking about these Siegel School Zones, here's something that I think is fun. When they built the Siegel Elementary School, which to me is a new school. It's been here a long time now, whatever. But the neighborhood that you could walk to get to that school is an established neighborhood called Regency Park. Regency Park has a lot of all brick homes that were built in the late 80s, early 90s. Bigger yards, big trees. Some are ready for a remodel. The price point in those homes can range anywhere from like that $400,000 to maybe 800-ish, right around there, depending on the remodel and the size, things like that. But you can easily walk to that elementary school. In fact, when we drive by there, we often see people from the neighborhood out playing tennis or playing on the playground there, because they have a lot of green space at the school, so you can use some of that green space. There's several churches in that area, and they have a lot of green space around their churches. So it's kind of unique and neat that one of the churches has a volleyball court people can go use, that the neighbors of that neighborhood can walk to the school or walk to play volleyball. So it's just a very community-friendly area. Guys, sidebar, the elementary school for Siegel is the Eagles. The Siegel Eagles. Nobody else, just me. Okay, I think it's great. Fantastic.
And when you go to their basketball game, they go, "Fly, Eagles, fly." Oh, yes. Cool guy knows how to do it backwards.
That's the Napoleon Dynamite right there. I know where he went with that. If you go to Siegel Elementary School, you're going to end up at Siegel Middle School, which is just a block down the road. And the high school is right behind the middle school. So they're all in the same strip. It's Thompson Lane is the road you'd be looking at. And the neighborhoods around there, like I just mentioned, there's some of those older established neighborhoods. But walkable to the middle and high school, in the last 5 and 10 years, they have built some really nice, beautiful, bigger homes, but they still are on those larger lots. So on Siegel Road, there are some homes that have an acre lot with a pool in the back, a nice large home that's maybe 5 years old. If you keep going, there's a neighborhood called Winthrop Hall. And Winthrop Hall is going to have smaller yards, but really well done homes. They're different, interesting. Some of them have a stone front. What I think of when I think of Winthrop Hall is really nice landscaping. There's also a neighborhood called Laurelwood. It's just one street, and some of those have 2-acre lots, but really architecturally interesting. Those homes are going to be more in the 900 and up price point. And then those all tie in. So if you're out on a bike ride, you're going to ride through all those neighborhoods, Regency Park, Winthrop Hall, and Laurelwood, because they all tie into each other, and then you can end back at the playground at Siegel Elementary. What might draw you to the Siegel school zones if you decide that's where you want to be? Some things to pay attention to, and you can dig into this a little more online. They are known for having good academic programs. They're also known for their sports and their involvement in the youth sports. They have a great football program, basketball, baseball, volleyball, archery, swim team, dance team, cheerleading, wrestling. They also are on the side of town where Murfreesboro's largest soccer complex is. It's one of the largest and nicest in all of Middle Tennessee. And they host many soccer camps from international teams from around the world will come to Siegel. It's called Siegel Soccer Complex. But Real Madrid has hosted camps there, Barcelona has hosted camps there. So the Siegel side of town, if you're into soccer, is also a good one because the school programs are good, but they also have very quick access to some of the nicest fields and an indoor field in all of Middle Tennessee. You may also be interested in their theater program, their AP program for the academics, so that helps with college placement. Okay, a fun thing about the Siegel schools, and this would be same for Blackman and Rockvale if you live close enough to the schools, on Friday nights you can hear the games, and it's really fun. And they host an event called the Battle of the Bands, so they have a great band program as well. And when they host that, you can hear the bands playing all day long, and you can walk and watch. But they often are doing fun events there, and because they have a great facility. But if you're into that, it's kind of fun to get to hear that happening throughout the neighborhood. We're going to Oakland next, and Oakland is the last public school zone that I'm going to touch on in this video solely for the sake of time. It is not the last school zone that we could touch on. So again, quick plug, if you are interested in learning about more schools in the way we're talking about these, just give us a call. We'd love to line up a call and deep dive into whatever other schools you may be interested in. Oakland and Riverdale were two of the first high schools when we had two in probably the 60s when they were built, 60s, 70s. And so with Oakland, you're going to get a lot of history and rich tradition. They're big rivalries. They're proud to be an Oakland Patriot. And over those years, the building actually just got a big renovation in 2025. They did a huge addition to update the science and the STEM programs. Oakland High School is known for having a ton of career and trade training options. So if you know that you want to go into cosmetology or culinary arts or agriculture or landscape design, Oakland offers really strong trade program options that you can actually go and get hands-on training during high school. Oakland also has an international baccalaureate program, which is an academic program. It's very rigorous. You have to test in to get to be a part of it, but it is really helpful for college placement internationally because it is recognized internationally. And so that's been a huge benefit that Oakland has added to their already plethora of options of reasons that make it a great school system there. So Oakland Middle School is directly across the street from Oakland High School, and there's a feeder elementary school that's called John Pittard Elementary. Those three schools have neighborhoods all around them that some of them are much older because, like I mentioned, this school's been here for a long, long time. But so for the elementary school, if you wanted to be able to walk to that John Pittard Elementary, you could look in the Huntington Place neighborhood. Those are going to be smaller, all brick homes on like a quarter-acre lot, priced in the $300,000 to $600,000 range. Then if you wanted to look right behind Oakland Middle School, there's a newer section of that Huntington Place where you could walk to the middle school and the baseball fields there. And those are going to be a little bit larger, maybe $400,000 to $700,000 homes, maybe a little bit larger yard there as well. And then at Oakland High School, there is already established neighborhoods, like across the highway from Oakland High School is a very large neighborhood called Garrison Cove with all brick homes, more like the 3,000 to 4,000 square foot size homes with large yards. A lot of them have pools and really large trees. It's a great walkable neighborhood. It doesn't have sidewalks, but the streets are really wide and it's just a nice established neighborhood. And there's actually a grocery store at the back entrance of the neighborhood, which is just another fun fact there. One of the most high-end gated neighborhoods in Murfreesboro is actually walkable to Oakland High School, and it's called Mirabella. And if you look up Mirabella, it's off Pitts Lane, and it has beautiful, large homes, large lots, varying price points, anywhere from $1 million to $3 million homes. And the architecture is just really distinct and very different than just your basic brick home neighborhoods here in town. Oakland also is known for having the powerhouse football program. So the middle school team, I know football, the middle school team crushes the other teams. Often it's like 50-0. It's wild. And the high school program is, they've won state championships many times for a long time. Other things that Oakland offers, they have a good swim team program with really a longevity of a long, great swim program that partners with other private swim programs like Excel Aquatics sometimes. There's a great archery program there. There's softball, basketball, baseball. There's a really strong dance team and cheer program that went to state last year, I know. Yeah, a really good band, great theater department that has produced people that have gone off to Broadway, been on American Idol, some of famous country singers that have gone through their programs. So there's a lot that they offer there. But I think what makes it stand out is really those trades and the fact that they actually have a mini farm on property there with some donkeys and a barn off to the side.
One thing with these larger public schools, especially the high schools, to consider is they will be competing at the highest level of high school sports, pretty much across the board in all of the sports. And the way they make those districts is oftentimes based on the population of the school. So with them being larger, they play the other larger schools, and with the larger schools, you usually have better programs. Yeah, so if you're finding this information helpful, it would do us a huge favor if you would go down there and smash that subscribe button.
Okay.
Is that too much? Is that too much?
Let's talk about private schools, because I know sometimes people will come to Tennessee and they want to explore the private school option. Sometimes it's because they've learned that our private schools can be more affordable than other places in the nation. In Murfreesboro, on average, your private school is going to be like that $10,000 to $15,000 a year range, depending on which school specifically. Some are more, some are less, but right around that window. And we have a lot to choose from. So if you're on that Blackman side of town, there's a school called Franklin Road Christian School. Franklin Road's been there a long, long time. They're a little more strict. They have a little more strict dress code. It's a much smaller campus. They have athletics, but they're not going to compete maybe as quite the higher levels as some of these big public schools would. But we've seen them at cross-country races and track meets and things like that too, so they are involved in the athletics there. And they're going to have that more faith-based element to their teaching, smaller class sizes. So I know that's something that has drawn a lot of people there, is it just feels like a smaller class size, one teacher to student ratio, which is attractive to some families. Another private school to note would be Providence Christian Academy in Murfreesboro. Providence is known for, it was originally started as a classical model of schools. So they're going to do a little bit more focus around the memorization in elementary school. And the high school students sit around like a round table and learn to debate and discuss things. I know they have to write a senior thesis paper that they spend the entire year working on and then present in front of professionals in the community. Providence is also known for having really strong athletic programs, like their basketball team is really prominent in the community. Their cross-country and track teams, their theater does really great performances as well. So that's another one to check out.
What are the homes like around PCA? They are in that Oakland school district, public school district. So you're going to find a little bit of everything. There are some great mansion estate homes over there on larger lots. There's also some more affordable homes. One of our favorite neighborhoods, one that we actually used to live in, actually surrounds the whole school. It's called Northwoods, and they have some great all brick homes with wide roads and really known for their established trees and landscaping. So those are great options if you're looking to be in that PCA area of town.
Middle Tennessee Christian School and Providence Christian Academy are both on the north side of Murfreesboro. And that Middle Tennessee Christian School has been around a long time. So if you're looking for a school that's been established in town, it's in the middle of the city, it's close to everything, restaurant-wise and shopping. They just did a massive addition onto their school and offer a really good STEM program now. The students at Middle Tennessee Christian School do some chapel ceremonies. They wear uniforms. With MTCS, the Middle Tennessee Christian School, it's more on a 4-lane busy highway that has a lot of traffic going around, but it does have a back entrance that goes to a really small neighborhood that I've always thought was really cool. It's the ranch homes from the 60s and 70s, and they're on big lots. They have these huge pine trees in the backyard, and you can actually leave Middle Tennessee Christian School's campus and be in that neighborhood. So if you were looking for walkability and you had decided that was your school and you're open to the old, cool ranch homes, like mid-century modern vibe, it's a neat neighborhood that connects to that private school. I'm also going to throw the plug in that if you landed at Middle Tennessee Christian School or the Oakland, Siegel, Providence areas, there is a climbing gym in Murfreesboro that's just across the road from that neighborhood in Middle Tennessee Christian School called Climb Murfreesboro, and it is awesome. They offer so much training and so much camaraderie and agility training. Anyway, really fun, positive place to get to go. All right, another classical Christian private school is called Redeemer Classical Academy. Redeemer's been established for 15-ish years, and they have been hopping around Murfreesboro waiting for a place to call home. They've actually just purchased land, and they're going to grow a campus. They're off Old Fort Parkway behind like a Target and Lowe's on the south side of Murfreesboro. And that school is really known for their academics. They are very focused on the classical model of education, a lot of recitation, memorization, that big senior thesis. It's a much smaller school at this point in time, so you might get 10 to 15 kids per teacher, which is unheard of to have classroom sizes be that small. And it may not stay that way, just saying for today it has been. They have some athletic options, but really their main focus is that academics. And then they also have a theater and a Latin program, which sounds funny to say it out loud, but they have an amazing Latin program, and they put on shows that go back and study history, like history shows that focus on the Latin roots. Anyway, it's really interesting and neat. You should look it up. Another private school in Murfreesboro is St. Rose Catholic School, and St. Rose has been here for a long time. They have a great faith-based school, and our friends who have kids there are very happy with, again, that small community feel of a private school here. And that one is on the north side of Murfreesboro, really just right behind Oakland High School and that Northwoods neighborhood that Clark was talking about earlier. Okay, before I wrap up the private schools, you may be wondering, should I go public? Should I go private? And honestly, that is a hard question that many families come to us and explore when they get here. And our best advice is to get here and tour them and meet the staff and see which one feels like the right fit for you, where you can look at the curriculum. You can see some of them are more focused on with technology, like Middle Tennessee Christian School has a lot of tech. They have a really nice tech lab and science lab, and there's computers in a lot of the classrooms, whereas some of the other schools like Redeemer is not going to be as tech savvy. They're going to be more books and paper focused. And that's the kind of thing that and a million other elements, right, that are going to help you decide which one feels right for you. But the good news is we have a lot of options, right? So if you want more information on those, reach out. Let's talk about magnet schools and charter schools. And we're learning that those are not popular terms in all places in America, but they are common if you're going to live in Middle Tennessee. It's important for you to know what these options are and what they are and what they mean. Do you want to clarify the difference between magnet and charter?
Sure, yeah. So I'm, by all means, not an expert on the matter, but the way that we understand it is that magnet schools are schools that are ran by our public school system. So the teachers are sourced by our public school system, all the faculty. So it's basically the same as a public school, but there's usually some type of testing requirement to get the child into the magnet school. And with that being said, you can come from anywhere in the city. It doesn't matter where you're zoned. A charter school, on the other hand, they are ran by nonprofits. And this has been, Tennessee has been going through this school choice legislation here in the last 3, 4, 5 years. And now we're starting to see these charter schools pop up. So they are free. They are governed by the public school system. So they're a little bit of their own entity, and they all have kind of a different flavor as well. One of them is up in Laverne, American Classical, and they are classical based, like the Redeemer that Christy was talking about. Then there's other ones that have a focus on collegiate prep. There's other ones that are focused on STEM. So there's kind of a flavor for each, whatever you're looking for there with the charter schools. So
with the magnet schools, that's an important thing for us to cover. The testing in that we talked about, they also have different, we call them flavors. I'm sure there's a more professional term, but there's a Discovery Science School that's going to be focused a little bit more on that science side. There's McFadden, and McFadden is a school that really focuses on that rigorous academic elementary school education to prepare those students to be able to get into Central Magnet, which is our magnet high school, which is one of the best and has been voted the best high school in the state of Tennessee many times. So that's an important thing for you to know. And yes, there's a wait list, and yes, you have to test in. So, but there's a lot of options like that with the charter and the magnet schools that are just a variety, different ways of learning, different uniform or no uniform, books or computers, or a combination of both. So we just have so many options here, and many of them are free and public. So really interesting compared to a lot of places when we talk to clients and they don't have that. So it's new, it's fun. We'd love to help walk you through that transition. Okay, so let's talk about the housing if you chose to go to one of the magnet or charter schools. Reminder, you don't have to live near that school, but because of that, you also don't get a bus option most of the time. So if your child needs to be able to ride a school bus to school, there are private charter buses, but that's obviously an extra expense that you'd have to figure out if that was worth it for you.
Let me ask you this. What if the public school, the magnet schools, the private schools, the charter schools, what if none of those feel like the right fit? Is there anything else?
But wait, there's more. there's more. There really is more, y'all. Hang in there. So, of course, people know there's a homeschool option, right? Homeschool's been around for a long time. I think the new cool part of homeschool that has become very popular here in Middle Tennessee is the tutorial programs. So there are a lot of tutorial programs for homeschool students, meaning they do some of the schoolwork at home, but 1 day or 2 days a week, they do go to a school or a church where it may be run by teachers and staff. Some of them are run by the parents who've come together and kind of formed their own teaching staff. But that gives the homeschool option still some community and some structure there. So both just normal homeschooling is still very popular here, but also those tutorials are very popular. And many of them, we know several families that have moved here. Some of our clients are even directing some of those, and they have wait lists. So that's become another very popular way to handle education for students. I will say through high school, there are less tutorial options for homeschool high schoolers. It's really predominantly lower school and middle school. I know personally some of those programs are creating their high schools as we speak, but they aren't established yet. So I do want to note that if you're coming with kids who are currently in high school, we may have to get more creative with communal options for them there. If you've hung with us this long, now we're going to share the most unique option for schooling. How about that we've heard about in Middle Tennessee? So there are a handful of homeschool, tutorial, 1-2 day a week type schools that are forest and farm-based schools. And those are going to take, when they have your children there, they're going to take that time to teach them about farming, regenerative farming, animals, taking care of animals. They learn a lot about life and creation and science and just really different approach to learning, but hands-on.
Outside most of the time.
Outside most of the time. I know one in particular that has a little bit of shelter, but honestly, even when it rains and stuff, the kids just stay out and play in the mud and learn to build things and learn how to be safe in the wilderness and what trees are safe to climb and which ones aren't. So I know that is a really far-fetched wild card of education that's probably not talked about a lot, but it exists here in Middle Tennessee. And I thought it would be important for you to know that that is an option for people. I think it's very limited, and it's usually like 7 to 10 kids at each camp, so it's very limited with those small numbers, but it is something that's growing and just something to keep your eye on. So we have covered a lot about schools today. If you stuck with us to the end, bless you, it's a lot. But we want you to hear us. There are more schools and more to share than what we've covered in this video. And we put our phone number on these videos for a reason, and we hope that you will feel comfortable to just reach out and schedule that time for us to dive into what you and your family need and what may be a good fit for y'all. And then we can give you specific advice just for you and your family. So please give us a call. We look forward to hearing from you.